Hello and welcome to today's lesson where we're looking at how to perform a TOWS analysis. Now, the TOWS matrix is a strategic analysis tool which can help you generate, compare, and then select one or more strategies to pursue. Now, SWOT and TOWS are both acronyms for precisely the same words, just in a different order. So they both stand for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, although they're constructed using the same words, the tools are not the same. And the diagram here shows a typical strategic planning process. Now, as inputs to creating your strategy, you have to first set your mission, your purpose, and your values. Now, these are essentially your guiding principles or your North Star that's going to guide you. And the second thing you need to do is you need to collect research. So, for example, you might investigate industry trends, you might talk to your customers, and you might analyze your competitors. Now, this analysis will generate lots of data. So how do you make sense of all this data? Well, a SWOT analysis can be a great way to summarize all the information that you've collected at this stage. But once you've done that and you've collected all the information in your SWOT, the next step is to generate strategic options and select one or more of them to pursue. And this is where TOWS analysis comes in. So the purpose of a TOWS matrix is to help you come up with strategic options based on your SWOT analysis. So to summarize, the SWOT comes first and helps you summarize your research, and the TOWS follows, and it helps you to identify and then select one or more strategies to pursue. Now, we mentioned that the TOWS is built from the SWOT. So how does that work? Well, it works by taking each box from our SWOT and using it to form the axes of our TOWS, as you can see here. So you represent external factors on the vertical axis, so that's your opportunities and threats, and internal factors you represent on the horizontal axes, so that's your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, the color coding is used to show how desirable a particular strategy will likely be. So green will, in general, hold the most desirable and positive strategies. Red indicates strategies that are formed from only negative factors. And yellow indicates strategies formed from a combination of positive and negative elements. So the next step is to populate our TOWS. And the way we do that is we first label each strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat we've identified in our SWOT analysis with a unique identifier. So, for example, as you can see here, our opportunities are marked O1, O2, O3, etc. And our threats will be marked T1, T2, T3, etc. And now what we do is you cross-reference every factor in turn and see if it can make a sensible strategy for you to pursue. So, for example, in S101, you're looking to see if the first strength you identified, S1, can be used to capitalize on the first opportunity you identified, O1. And in W101, you're looking to see if the first opportunity you identified, O1, can be used to mitigate or circumvent the first weakness you identified, W1. Now, a really useful rule of thumb here is to limit yourself to no more than 5 items in each box from your SWOT analysis. And the reason for this is that the TOWS becomes very cumbersome with too many options for you to study effectively. Now, the strategic options you develop in your TOWS matrix will fall into 4 broad categories of options. And those are firstly, strengths and opportunities, or SO for short. And these are known as maxi strategies as they have the highest potential generally. Now, strategies of this nature look to use a strength to take advantage of an opportunity. Next, we have weaknesses and threats, or WT for short. And these are known as mini strategies as they have the least potential. They try to minimize your susceptibility to threats and weaknesses. So strategies of this nature look at how you can minimize weaknesses and avoid threats. Next, we have strengths and threats, or ST for short, and these are known as mini strategies. Strategies of this nature look at how you can maximize a strength to minimize a threat. And finally, we have weaknesses and opportunities, or WO for short. And these are known as mini-maxi strategies. And strategies of this nature look at how you can use an opportunity to overcome a weakness. So in a general sense, you use the model like this. First, you conduct your SWOT analysis, and then you take the results from your SWOT analysis and use it to construct your TOWS matrix. And then what you do is you analyze all the strategic options generated within your TOWS matrix, and you pick one or two promising strategies for each box. Now, finally, you rank all your options by priority, and priority should be based on a couple of things. So it should be based on the potential benefit of the strategy, but also on how easy to execute that strategy is. So that means that easy to implement strategies delivering significant benefits should be implemented first. So it just means you should go for your low-hanging fruit first to give yourself the best chance of success. So to bring all of this together, let's take a look at a simple example. So in this example, we're going to examine a small fictional company which develops websites, and our company is based in the US and employs just 20 people. Now, first, the company generated their SWOT analysis, which you can see here, which gave a very brief overview of their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And next, from this SWOT analysis, they generated their TOWS, and that might look something like this. So let's take a look at some of the potential strategies they have developed. So first, let's look at S101. Now, this takes the strength of excellent technical skills and looks at how it can be combined with the opportunity of growth of mobile first. Now, after a bit of brainstorming, the potential strategy they've generated is to consider positioning the company as experts in mobile first development. Now, next, let's take a look at W101, and this takes the weakness of a company founder is the only salesperson and looks at how it can be combined with the opportunity of growth in mobile first. And again, after a bit of brainstorming, the potential strategy generated is to consider hiring a salesperson focused only on mobile. So let's do one more. Let's look at S1T1. Now, this takes the threat of cheaper foreign competition taking existing customers and looks at how it can be combined with the strength of excellent technical skills. And the potential strategy they've generated in this case is to consider outsourcing or even rejecting any low margin work. So in terms of strengths, weaknesses, or advantages and disadvantages of the model, in terms of advantages, it's not just merely brainstorming some strategic ideas. It's actually about linking internal factors to internal factors and then generating the best strategies for the organization from these. Also, it can help you identify strategic options you may not have previously considered. Then in terms of disadvantages, it can be cumbersome to use if you have too much information in your SWOT analysis. Now, while the matrix takes you further towards selecting a strategy than a SWOT does, it doesn't actually do it for you. You still need to decide which strategy to pursue for yourself. And thirdly, the quality of the strategic options you generate are only going to be as good as the quality of the people you have in the room. And finally, it doesn't help you generate strategic advantage. It doesn't help you decide or identify what's going to make you more competitive than your competition. So in summary, the TOWS matrix is a strategic analysis tool that works by taking the output from your SWOT as its input. And the TOWS then combines all these internal and external factors to generate a list of strategic options for you to consider pursuing. So that's it for this lesson. Really hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.